Today we're back with fantasy author Mehdi Fakhrahmad. Thanks for joining us, Mehdi.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Sure, we're so happy you're back. And today I want to discuss interactive elements. So, how can an author design choices that have significantly varied consequences in a story?
Like, it's just the what if,
Mm,
Because how many times do you watch a movie or read a book and you're like, what if they had actually like not broken up?
right.
Or what if like they, didn't turn down going to that bar? Like what would happen? So I try to explore all the what if scenarios, which can be really fun, of course.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And what could an author use to sort of track the different paths or outcomes within an interactive narrative?
I stay old fashioned. Like I just use pen and paper to keep track of everything. Um,
Right.
I don't know. I find it like it's structured.
Right.
And something about like when a lot of people like some people use Excel sheets and things like that, but sometimes I don't know, I've heard horror stories where like something happens and they've lost all their work.
Right, and there's
And
something satisfying about writing it down and then also having, like I don't know if you use printer paper where, like, there's just no lines, just imagination, and you can,
that's what I
configure
use.
them. Yeah, configure
Yeah,
it a different
printer
way.
paper, totally. I
Yeah,
don't know, I hate the lines because then you're like you try to stay in it. I
right.
don't know, like don't confine me.
Right. Yeah, I will be free, I write fantasy. Well, on the topic of mystery and suspense, how could an author build suspense and maintain a sense of mystery throughout the story for the reader?
It's like I guess I don't have too much mystery, but I always have things happening that you just never expect or see coming. And it
Mm,
is really nice to like leave little kind of like clues and tidbits along the way. But my thing is like less is more, you know?
right.
And the one thing is like there's a whole thing about info dumping that people hate. I don't know if you've heard of that going around, but
Mhm.
like never give too much because then the reader's overwhelmed. They can't remember half the stuff that you just spilled out. So
Right.
just be organic, like give them a little bit here and there.
Right. Well, that's interesting you say that because on the topic of reader engagement, how could an author, would you say, balance elements of mystery, romance, death, and fantasy to keep the reader engaged while, still keeping it simple enough to actually like follow the story?
I mean that's the hardest part, really, is balancing everything. And it's like you can drive yourself crazy trying to make it all like perfect,
Hmm.
but just be organic. And it's like it's almost like making a stew. It's like get the ingredients just right and just let it happen.
Yeah. And how, because you've done this before, would you recommend that an author encourage readers to explore multiple paths and endings?
I mean that is a hard part right there. Because honestly, like people would read like those multiple path books and they would just read through it straight, make their choices because they're like, I don't care about that other choice. I'm not going to go back and read it. And then they're done with the book in like 10 minutes. And
Mm,
I don't really want that because I put a lot of work into all my choices. So I try to make them really interesting. Like, like I know my daughter was reading my book and she was struggling with like, oh God, what do I do? Which one do I do? And she was just over there like fretting which one because both of them, she liked both of them. So she would just write down like the choice that she didn't take so she could go back and do it again. So just, make it interesting, make it unique.
right. Okay. And that's a good point where, so you find that readers typically go back and are encouraged by you to read all the different endings.
Oh yeah, definitely. And especially if like for people that are like old school choose your own adventure book readers,
Hmm.
they would even like fold pages so they would remember I mean if they get a hold of my book, they'll they'll know what to do. Now it's the people that get my book and they've never read those kind of things. I have to actually tell them how to do it. I'm almost wondering maybe I should have inserted a page in there like if you want to keep track of your choices.
Yeah, that's interesting. And on the topic of choices, what techniques can you use to make the reader feel like their choices do matter since you can pick the story?
um there's not really any like certain techniques I use per se. Once again, I just go with being organic
Mhm.
and yeah, I just kind of leave it up to the reader at that point.
Well, that must be it. I mean, it's pretty neat to be able to choose kind of the first story as the reader.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I mean, if I'm enjoying it, I'm hoping that someone else comes along and they enjoy it also. That's
Right.
the big thing. Because if you're not
Right.
enjoying what you write, I don't think the other people are going to enjoy it either. That are reading
No,
it.
I don't think so. Well, on the last note, I want to know how you think an author could provide hints and guidance without giving away too much in a story like this or ruining the suspense of it.
Once again, it goes back to my less is more.
Mm,
Just
yeah,
don't give too much information if you can help it. Try
right.
to just focus on the character development if you can. That's the main thing.
Be a little secretive.
Yeah, people love it.
Yeah. Well, I do know that I am a huge fan of suspense novels, so I am one of the people that love it. So,
And I'm
well,
I am like actually diving into different genres myself for writing. Like right now, I'm currently writing a paranormal thriller. So like
ooh,
I don't know, maybe I will write a suspense novel next. Who knows?
yeah, who knows? Yeah. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to today's interview with fantasy author Mehdi Fakhrahmad. Be sure to check out our website for more videos. Wishing you all a fulfilling and successful writing journey.